Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today, finally, I'm going to be playing with the A7 Pumpkin Card Pop-Up Card. Yes, Pumpkin Pop-Up Card. Let me say the words right. A7 Pumpkin Pop-Up Card. I've been meaning to play with this for over a month and hadn't gotten a chance to yet, but today I'm going to be doing something with it that's not Halloween. This one actually came out as part of the Halloween collection from Scrappy Tails, and I think it's actually been 3 months I've been meaning to do it. Anyway, I'm going to be making my first of the little pop-up cards using the pumpkin and using the reindeer face add-on. So we're going to have a little reindeer that pops up. I think it's going to be super, super cute. I've already got a bunch of pieces die cut out and ready to go. And I'm going to first show you how the pop-up box goes together. I have already die cut out the pieces for this. Let me go ahead and show you that. This big piece here, this one here, cuts out the box. It's also got, it comes with this little inlay, so it makes really pretty lanterns, so you can definitely do that. So I've already cut out 2 of this and 2 of this and a bunch of pieces to put together my little reindeer. I think what I'm going to do first though is do a little bit of shading on the brown pieces before we start assembling the box, because that's going to kind of be the little head for our little reindeer. It's going to be so super cute. So next, I've just finished doing one of the sides. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to do a little bit of trimming. Now this is something that I saw on Sabrina's video that she explained how all of this worked. These pieces here, for some reason, the manufacturers of the dies weren't able to cut them all the way down to where they need to go, all the way down to that score line. So we're going to just fix that. You just take your scissors and we're going to be basically trimming out a little tiny triangle, just extending those lines down right to where the fold is going to be. We're going to do that on all of the places on here. Yeah, just on this big piece. So we've got the 2 big pieces. I already did it on the first one, but we've got the 2 big pieces, and we're going to cut them down so they're going to have that little bit extra right there, cutting all the way down to the score line, so it's going to be able to fold nicely. Okay, so it's going to be like that. And then I'm going to shade this one up as well as these other pieces, basically shading on all of the fold lines. So it's going to give it, I don't know, a little bit more dimension there. Now that I've got everything shaded, I've got all of the blending added on. Yeah, words. Anyway, now that I've got all of that on, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling this. So you line up, first off, everything you basically need 2 because it's going to make the 2 halves of this ball, and I'm just adding some liquid glue. You could also use double stick tape if you have that, but I'm basically going to just use some liquid glue to assemble everything. Attaching these pieces together with them kind of into the inside, and part of the reason for that is this little slot here. That's where a rubber band would go to make it into a pop-up, so it's going to be super cool. So I'm just going to glue everything together, starting off with the 2 tabs, the tabs on each end of those 2 pieces, and just adhering those together, and then we will finish off the rest of it. Basically, we're going to just adhere everything together. Let's get that out of the way. Make sure everything is lined up on the end. I'm just going to hold on to it long enough for it to get a good hold. There we go. Now, this piece here, we're going. Oh, we also do the same thing with the top and bottom pieces. We're going to adhere those little tabs together, and we're going to adhere this to the back of this top piece, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and add some to this triangle, and yeah, I'll go ahead and just do this one at a time. So gluing that in place there. I'm gonna make sure to fold that one down. So if you can see that, I've got it folded in. I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to this triangle and to the tab. Let me fold it down well first, but to the tab. So the two tabs are going to go together, and the little triangle is going to go on the back of this piece here. It's not really difficult to put together once you know where all the different pieces go. Just need to make sure that you hold it in place while that adhesive has a chance to dry. Or, as I mentioned, you could just use double-sided adhesive. But I found that sometimes double-sided adhesive, it sticks to begin with and then it lets go, and I really don't understand that. I think maybe I just don't have some strong enough tape. But sometimes it works fine. That's the thing. Sometimes it works great and sometimes it doesn't, and yeah. So you can see it's starting to kind of form a barrel shape. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with the rest of it. So all of these tabs have to be glued down in the same fashion. So after I got those first pieces glued together, I realized that if I did that, I would not be able to fold it flat, which is kind of part of what we want to do. You want to be able to fold it flat. So that means if you want to fold it flat, so you can mail it in an envelope, then you would fold these pieces inward and glue them to the inside of the square piece here, not adhere them to the top. If you adhere it to the top, you do make a cute little ball. However, it's going to be a 3D object that you cannot fold. Ask me how I know. Yeah, I got like half of it adhered and tried to lay it flat and it didn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere those little tabs going down onto the inside. Glue them in place, and then we're going to adhere these two little tabs to the other tabs there, and then it's going to work the way it's supposed to. Okay, so I got the box all done, and you can see you can't fold that flat. That is cool. So it will go into an envelope. Now, what I discovered after doing this is that I can possibly put it on there, but I'm not sure that there is actually a purpose to it unless I put there is additional dye. Yes, there is another dye that makes it so it has basically a platform for the lid. Let me show you that. So this guy. Okay, so if I wanted to put that one on there and adhere it, then yeah, so I am not sure that this is actually a piece that I'm going to need to use yet, but I've got it ready to go if I do. Now I'm going to start putting together the face, the face for my little reindeer. This is going to be so cute. Let me put this off to the side and bring out those dies to let you see what I've got cut out. First, I've got the little hat. And this one is actually 3 pieces. We've got one for the overlay, one for the underlay, and then we've got, these are actually 2. This is for the white part on his hat, and then we've got a little circle die, of course, for the pom-pom. So I'll go ahead and put all of those together. So laying these 2 up on top of each other, it makes it so that we've got those little white dots showing through my glitter. And yes, I had to do the glitter. Now we can put this piece, oops, I'm trying to put it on the wrong side. Put it on the back, not on the front, okay? And this is going to take a second to dry, so I'm going to put it under acrylic block. Actually, while I'm doing that, I might as well go ahead and put my little pom-pom on the hat too. And glitter doesn't like to have things stick to it, so that's the reason I'm putting an acrylic block over the top. Okay, so now we have his little face. So I'm gonna just grab out this part. I decided to make his nose out of the out of the same red glitter cardstock, because Rudolph, you know. Let's go ahead and put that in place. I cut out his mouth out of some black cardstock. Go ahead and add that on. I mean, this is super easy to put together. We've got a couple of antlers. We've also got this piece here, which is going to be his collar, and another piece that is for the little bell. For that, I decided to go with some gold. So I've got the red glitter cardstock for the collar, and then I've got the little gold piece here. And for this one, there is also a little die so you can do an additional clapper, that little tiny piece right there. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just pop it out of my gold instead of adding another one on top, and that's just going to make it so that the red shows through instead. Let's add that on there, and because this is gold mirror cardstock, this is from Spellbinders. I love it, but it does not like to be glued to anything, so we've got two papers that don't like to stick, so that one definitely has to go under the acrylic block. Looks like I've got it slightly out of line. There we go. Okay, next we've got the little ears. So there are pieces for the ears, and then for the inside of the ears, we've got those in pink. And let's just add those in. And these dies are cool. They've got all everything is already, basically it's got all of the lines where you need to apply things and put things down. It's got cut. So it's kind of like an embossed line, except it's actually a little cut line. So you could cut them out if you wanted to do some inlay. I'm just layering everything on top. There we go. Okay, these guys should be pretty much dry, so let's go ahead and start adding them to my card here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the front, but you can also put a sentiment on the back, and you could go ahead and stamp it before doing all the assembly, which is not what I did, but anyhow. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to just kind of just line things up. Got these little pieces for eyelashes and for our little deer's eyebrows. And yeah, I think I'm going to go with the way that it shows on the packaging, with it curved like that. I'm just laying it out to give me an idea before I start gluing everything down. Isn't that the cutest little face? And I think that position is pretty much good. I'm kind of thinking, right now I've got my little reindeer with his snout a little bit off kilter, and I kind of like that. Kind of gives him an attitude, right? Okay, so I'll go ahead and put it right down there. And because I did all that shading on the box part, it makes it so that my face is a little bit of a different color, because I'm using the same brown cardstock for both of those. Add a little bit of glue to my hand so I can put just a little bit of glue on the back of my eyelashes. And there we have our cute little face. Now I'm going to put on the ears, and I think for those I'm going to tuck them just a little bit behind, but just notice these guys need a little bit of extra color too. So I'm just going to add a little bit, whatever's left over on my brush, to the outer edges, like the lateral to the outside. And that has a little bit of color to kind of match the rest of him. This also has a little score line here at the bottom, so I'm going to fold on that score. I want the hat to fit in the front, so let's go ahead and add the ears kind of behind our hat. So we're going ahead and do that. So this has kind of got a lot of layers on there. Put the other one on the other side. There we go. Okay, and now that's going to go on there perfect. So I'm going to put some glue on this front piece here, because I don't really want it adhering to the sides, because then you can't open it up all the way, right? And let's put his hat on. I'm going to have it kind of a little bit wonky, like his little face. Just hold that in place for a second so it has a chance to grab. While I'm thinking about the antlers, I'll go ahead and put his little collar on. Again, going right across the front here, but not going over to the sides, because I don't want it to, I want this to be able to fold flat, and it won't be able to if it's adhered to the other side. Everything would have to fold. So here we go. There's, look at Rudolph. Okay, we're going to add his antlers behind his head. So just adding a little bit of glue down here at the bottom. And I'll tuck that in right back here behind his little hat. There we go. Do the same thing on the other side. There we go. And the only other thing that I cut out for this was the ornaments. There is a string of lights. So I've got a string of lights and all the little red bulbs, because I decided to go with the same red. And I'm going to go ahead and put it together. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to put him in the antlers or not. Probably will, but let's go ahead and put this piece together. And it's just a little bit of glue on each of the bulbs and then adding them on. There we go. And let's see if this will... Yeah, I think it'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and add our lights kind of tucked in around our reindeer's antlers. There we go. I think this turned out super, super cute. So the only thing that would be left would be for me to add a rubber band on the inside. So I've got it attached on one side. I'm adding it to the second side. Make sure it is slid down into that little notch. Okay, so you can see it's attached there. So we can have it flat and then it pops up. So that means that when you put it in your envelope, it'll be flat in the envelope, and then when they open the envelope to take their card out, it will go pop. So anyway, I think this little guy turned out super, super cute. Yeah. You guys be sure to check out this playlist to see some more videos where I'm using some fun Scrappy Tails products, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.